let's go. So Mr. Dave Mack decided to volunteer for us today. So basically what I want to discuss about is intentions coming out of Asia. So basically, if I can use my little tool, when you have, don't move please, 2 seconds. When you have an Asia session, I see too much people looking at the price do this, then there's an inducement, and they constantly wanted to short and go to Asia low. So basically the call today would be to discuss about that and actually see the intentions coming out of Asia. If you haven't seen the Asia session anatomy video, it's important to understand that Asia session provides the beat for the day. It provides the intentions. We know that if price is trending in one direction, most likely it's being induced to one direction. So if you don't mind, we could go on GBP CHF, please. All right. Do you mind, like, oh, okay, if you can erase this, perfect. So now let's put your screen flat. And let's go, are you in UTC plus one? Okay, perfect. So let's go on GBP CHF September 24. September 24. Here we go, perfect. Let's go here. So you can start the day probably at mid-Asia session. And I'll guide you a little bit more than last time we did with Mr. Andres, because our goal is to understand everybody what's happening. And I'll also ask you to put the full day into your Giga Mega screen, please.
Like that, yeah?
Perfect.
Yep. All right.
Yes. Okay. So first and foremost, what's important to understand is each and every single Asia session has an invalidation shield. So as you can see, Mr. Dave Mack here has our indicator for the Asia session invalidation zone. If you haven't had this indicator yet, please use the type form in WAP and we will invite you to have the indicator. Very, very important that you understand that it's not because you send a type form today that we will invite you 25 minutes later, because we did receive some requests like this. So please, we will invite people once a week, okay? Because otherwise it's everything manually. So you can start now and give us exactly what you see. Mark up the liquidity, talk to us about the intentions, and especially explain us what you expect price to do. And I'll intervene if there's anything.
Okay, cool. So we got some equal lows here. This is also kind of like the demand that led to the inducement high yesterday. So that's definitely going to be an SMT. And I'm seeing like a bit of it's got slightly taken out, a bit of a reaction, and we've got equal highs here. This push just about went lower, so we've got some liquidity there. Obviously, we've got some liquidity at the top.
Can you just zoom in a little bit, because we have some members that don't have a big screen like me, so try to and also we can remove this pane here, this panel on the top right.
Yeah.
And make sure you stretch your screen so we can see everything.
Like that. Yeah. All right, cool. So this inducement took out this previous day high, so that's still significant for today. SL's at the top of that. SL's obviously above these equal highs. And then we had this didn't really take anything out, so that's kind of internal structure. Then this candle here is another breakout trader, but again, that's kind of internal structure, so not too significant. And that is going to create a little bit of liquidity there. And then got liquidity here as well.
Where
And then
is the most significant liquidity for the current PA in your opinion?
I would say the most relevant is it's going to be these equal highs or probably these equal highs.
Okay.
That's also potential like break and retest area there as well.
Okay. And here, would you say that these equal lows are relevant? Yes or no?
Yeah, they're relevant. The only thing that's a little bit off about these is the fact that these already took out the SLs at this
Yeah, but remember,
demand
we're
level.
looking at this as a zone. So at what point would you say that these equal lows become relevant?
When I guess, first of all, we did have this kind of internal boss here, but when they make a new high, maybe when they take this out.
Okay, perfect.
So at the moment, yeah, they're not really confirmed yet. So that's like a little breakout trade there as well. Um, yeah, so these are not yet confirmed really. So, all right.
Perfect. So you would say that these equal lows would become
Mm-hmm.
relevant when you said that this high would be taken,
Yeah,
basically.
yeah.
Perfect. Okay, cool. Let's continue. Now it's okay. We saw that price action to the left. So now let's just focus on the intraday because again,
Okay,
some members have really, really small screen. I can see everything, but just make sure that we respect people that have small screen. So basically your Asia needs to start here. So all this needs to be zoomed in. Zoom, zoom, zoom,
that
zoom,
is
zoom. Bigger, bigger. Again,
that.
no, again, this Asia session needs to be here and stretch your screen.
Oh, okay.
Here we go.
Got that.
Because you double click so it locks the screen. Stretch it. All right, perfect. And now slide it to the left. We don't need to see this PA here is completely irrelevant. Okay, put your Asia
Okay.
session in the middle of the screen. As you can see, we don't see the below. Now
Got that. Yeah.
you know that you put it back how it was. No,
Yeah.
here, put it back how it was. Take your mouse, put it here,
Yeah.
and drag it.
Got that.
Now, like you can left click
Left
and
click. Yeah.
move your screen. Move above, above, above. Here we go, God. Here we
Got
go.
that.
How can you see your screen if your whole PA is under the goddamn bar? It's
Yeah. I could.
important to scale in and have everything properly. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go. Let's continue.
All right. So again, reacting off those equal highs. Still reacting. Took out this little tiny bit of liquidity here. Reacted off the equal highs.
Yeah,
So
I'm not a big fan of those taking a little bit of liquidity. That's not really the case.
don't
That
even
this
bother
is
with that.
still equal highs. Those
Okay.
micro pips thing are not inducing anything. Okay.
Oh, I'll just ignore
So
them then.
especially in this kind of PA and Asia session.
Yeah. All right. So now, okay. So not quite yet, but see if they go a bit lower. All right. So now that's breakout traders in. Breakout traders confirm that equal highs more, and just getting people in. Not really much else happening here. So now, okay. So equal highs confirmed. There wasn't really any liquidity under here because it's just a new low. So we're reacting off this for kind of no reason really, apart from just to go higher. All right. More little reaction off the equal highs. Okay, so still nothing really. Just pipped it.
Perfect. and just
Yeah, okay, so
solidifies those equal
yeah,
highs.
that's a little bit more significant, but still only wicks it really. So it's kind of like nothing to get excited about. Okay, so now it's looking a bit more like it's doing a bit more to those equal highs. All right, so now we've definitely taken out the equal highs.
Okay, up until now, coming out
Yeah,
of Asia, this is exactly the subject I want to talk about. So as you guys can notice, I switched mics, so my mic is probably bad right now, but I'm sorry. It's just I want to be a little bit more lean back. So basically, coming out of Asia, what can you see from this point to this point? What would be the intention and which direction the price is heading, in your opinion?
for this now,
Now, from this point to this point.
yeah,
So this, what you're pointing down is what I don't want you to look at. This point to
okay,
this point. What would be the intention and what do you expect that is happening currently? What are we building?
building buyers.
Buyers. Perfect. So
Yeah,
intentions is what we're building. So
yeah,
intentions wise, we are building buy side liquidity, right?
yeah.
If you look at this as a example, as a retail trader, what would be the first reflex you would want to do when there's an uptrend like this? You would want to buy, right?
Yeah.
So this is why we start identifying properly the liquidity. So I'll let you identify the liquidity right now.
Let's what? Sorry.
You can start identifying the liquidity. So example, do we have breakouts
Yeah.
here and then continue
Yeah.
play price and mark up the liquidity? I don't want you to predict trades. I don't want you to predict entries. I just want you to mark it like you learned it, and then we'll go into potential understanding of what happened.
So yeah, there's gonna be SLs under there, breakout traders here, and that's kind of a structure point as well, really, on the 5 minute.
Perfect.
And at the moment, this isn't really structure.
No, I
I
agree.
wouldn't. Yeah, so that's
Yeah,
kind of
this looks
irrelevant.
very good. Very good.
And obviously, oh, there we go. Okay, taking out the SLs.
Perfect. So what's happening now? Coming out of Asia, what
Yeah,
is the first thing you expect right now, right? We have, even though the structural point is bad, we do have a breakout coming out of Asia here,
yeah,
right? Here.
yeah. Okay, yeah. So this is yeah. So this is a breakout. There would be SLs under that candle.
Yeah, in my opinion, there is. Again, this
Yeah,
is
and
just my opinion.
yeah, and it's also left it's kind of left a nice POI for SMC, but not really a smart money. About to vector into taking this out. So I would have liquidity under there as well. So now we've got these three guys. There's a bit of a trend line here as well. I won't bother drawing it. You can see the trend line. Right, now we're reacting off this. Okay, just about took it there. But I wouldn't be too excited about that. But it is moving. Okay. So take it in. So now, because this area is something with stop losses, right? Because it's structure. So people move
Yes.
their stop losses above this and they move them exactly to the pip. So if this is a question, if we're taking traders out, like stop losses, it doesn't need to be a vector like this, right? It just needs to pip them and
Uh,
take their
uh,
S and go.
I I'll probably give you an answer that you will not enjoy. I would say
Okay.
none of them. So there
Right.
is a secret that everybody don't know is that there is no way of confirming when there's enough liquidity taken.
Yeah.
I don't care which trader you talk to, I don't care how skilled he is, nobody, even me, can confirm if this week, if this set of liquidity stop losses that are here are enough. What
Yeah.
do we know, though, is where is the liquidity, okay?
Mm.
Now I need you to press next candles, but slowly so we can see exactly what happens, okay? Let's go.
All right. So
Here we go. Perfect.
coming
What do
out
we
of this
have?
liquidity
Now, what's this? What's this?
vector,
All right, vector indicates what? Speed,
a manipulation.
momentum, manipulation.
Yeah.
I love that. All right.
Yeah.
So let's press another candle again.
Oh shit! What did I do there?
Yeah, you need to go back.
Sorry.
No, it's not gonna work if you have to go back. So again, use the bar replay and go back to your day.
It was what was it? The 20.
24 September. Yeah.
Okay. Oh,
Because you press on this one, I think here on
yeah.
the right.
Yeah.
And again, I'll need you to put that screen full, so we can see everything.
All right. So. Like that, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So.
Perfect. Right, let's continue again. So we just don't go too fast. Here we go. Here we go. Perfect. Perfect. Again. One last time. Oh no, there's a couple of candle again. Here we go. Okay,
All right.
here we go.
This.
There's speed, momentum, and
Yeah.
here that's what we have.
Mm-hmm.
Again, let me just talk about candle closure. People overcomplicate. They think there's a magic formula of those candle closure. You understand that with bar replay, when you press next, you have the complete candle already, right? So as you can see on the M5 candle, we have price closing bearish, right? You confirm.
Yeah.
Now
Yeah.
press play.
Right.
We
Okay.
have the candle rejecting this zone, right? So what does this indicate? This wick, that candle closure, what was this doing with speed and momentum? We're creating what we call a
F boss.
F-boss. Why? What does this indicates as being an F-boss? We have an inducement to the left, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we have that AKA break of structure. But why? What does indicates that this is potentially an F-boss? We just discussed about it. The candle, the speed, the momentum, right? You
Yeah.
agree?
Yeah. Yeah. The
It's
manipulation.
a manipulation. It's that simple. There's no such things as expecting price to do a relevant breakout structure or an FBOS. One of the first things, and I'll teach you more tricks in the future, but one of the first things I want you guys to understand is that what's important is you need to mark up the full candle, please. Is
Okay.
that the speed and the vector is what entices people to enter.
Yeah.
So now let's press play again. No, yeah, next, excellent. Reaction. Okay.
So we're getting a
let's
reaction
go.
off the smart money.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Here we go. Now what happens now? Here price closes below, right? You confirm. What
Mm-hmm.
do we
Yeah.
also have? Solidifying the liquidity here. What do
Yeah.
we also have? There's something else that happened at the same time that we can also indicate right now. We don't have the proof yet, but we have a clear evidence that something is happening. You marked it, and there's a second thing. Here
You
we go.
took out
Perfect, perfect. No, not took out, but like we still are in the break-in retest zone. So I like that
yeah.
you marked this. But what is
Yeah.
also happening here? What are we also doing?
Taking out their break evens on the
Perfect.
breakout
What
traders.
does it
Yeah.
indicates that this is a potential break even other than this candle reaction, right? What will
Yeah.
prove us that there's a potential break even? Can you tell me?
What would prove that there's a
Yeah,
potential
because right
break
now, because
even?
people like when I talk about the break even, we have the structures, right? And when
Mhm.
price comes back and break even something, what
The
indicates that
reaction.
this excellent, excellent. I love that. So
Mm.
let's press play. A lot of people think that I predict those moves. I don't, because actually this is just confirmation of those variables. We have that FBOS, we have that SMT confirmed with the SL that you didn't put yet. Please put that SL here.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And now there's the speed, momentum, the release. And here we go.
So SMT just got smoked.
Perfect.
We're still sort of reacting off this same kind of area, really, as well.
So where,
So
in your opinion, where would be the inducement, the most relevant last inducement that we just saw?
the most relevant inducement is the inducement of this SMT,
Yeah. So what does an
and
inducement do? Do you know what
uh,
this,
it,
it does two things. What does an inducement do?
it got people to buy with this vector, and it
Yeah.
took these SLs out, and it took the resistance SLs out, equal
But what
highs.
else? What happened here? This is the enticement. So basically, we are currently searching a new name for inducement, because inducement, if you look on Google, is making people do things, right? But we use inducement as taking the liquidity, but I don't like this term because it's not the case. An inducement doesn't take liquidity. It's just a fancy word that has been going online that I don't like. I think we
Yeah,
will find another name. We could potentially talk about a swap of liquidity, or like we'll find a fancy name soon, but the actual inducement is when they created this FBOS. Why?
right.
Because they forced the price to go lower. They forced the candles to go lower. And now push price higher, so they're inducing people to buy. So the inducing here does two things. It creates the FBOS and it pushes price higher. The price
Yeah.
higher is confirmed, and also the BE is confirmed. So all this indicates so much information that now we're still looking to trade in line with the liquidity. And also you can have this trend line here, and this FBOS is even more confirmed with this trend line. You don't have to mark
Hmm.
it, but it's just so people understand.
Yeah.
Now, where is price stopping now? Can you tell me?
At this POI.
What is this POI?
Uh, is it a smart money? It's an inducement POI.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, it didn't. It didn't really. It just about led to a new low. Yeah, I don't really know if that's an SMT or a POI. It's under previous day's high.
Mm-hmm. So if it's previous day high, what do we
Yeah,
also have? Like we have
liquidity above.
breakout traders entering here,
Yeah,
right? So
yeah.
most likely there's liquidity here. Again, don't want to give everybody a hard pill to swallow. There is no way of knowing if this POI will hold or no.
Mm,
There is no
right.
reason. There is no way. I don't care what reason you give. Hindsight traders have always thousands of reasons to tell you why something didn't happen or something worked. Real traders have no proof other than clear evidences that something will or will not happen. How many times in your journey have you seen a POI, a daily high that also induced Asia high, hold? And how many
Yeah,
times have you seen it blow up?
yeah. It's
50-50,
pretty about
right?
even. Yeah.
Yeah. So forget about what you would think as a hindsight trader. Look at it as a liquidity trader. What do we have right now? Clearly, we have buy side liquidity. We induce early sellers. But at this point in time, who is in the market? Buyers or sellers?
Buyers.
So what do they need to do right now?
They need what they need to do. They need to take the buyers out.
Yes, or induce.
Induce sellers.
Exactly. So let's see what price does.
Alright.
Because the problem is and I know exactly how you learn trading also. We know each other. Like it's pretty straightforward. We
Yeah.
have been taught a one size fits all mold that actually creates a lot of brain laziness when it comes to analyzing price. I do not care what you have been taught in the past. There is no such thing as predicting. It doesn't exist. You can have an edge and you can have potential evidence that proves you. I would just mark this one here. No need to go until this thing here.
I was thinking, is that not break and retest
Yeah,
zone
this break
overall?
and retest is enough. Like, I mean, this point and
Okay.
this point doesn't provide no value in my opinion.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
so let's go and let's go.
All right. So now it's getting the break and retest buyers in as well. So we're probably going to take that high. I don't know though. All right. So reacting off that high.
Also, it's very important. I saw that you didn't mark the breakout traders entering here, but
Oh,
we have
yeah.
breakout here and breakout here. With the current price action that is happening, it's very mandatory that you mark both.
Okay.
Very, very, very important.
Yeah.
So mark both.
So this one is breakout and break and retest for this entry.
Perfect. Perfect. Lovely,
All
lovely.
right. So now we're reacting off this
What is reacting
POI.
out of this? So we have breakout traders entering here. Price is
Yeah.
correcting, reacting out of this zone. Can we zoom in here so members can see what's happening, please? Look at the release of here. So this actually, again, this is how trading should work. We have a reaction out of these breakout traders here. This indicates an evidence that maybe people that entered here moved themselves to break even. You confirm.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't know if it's highly confirmed, depending on the reaction, if it closed above or below, right? We do not know. If this point doesn't get taken, would you agree that it's logical? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Because of what we discussed right now. This is trading is actually what you should do is stack the odds in your favor. You cannot know, you have no confirmation that if this low has liquidity until you have your reaction. And this is why trading is about taking the risk. Very important. Let's continue.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, nice. We have a POI reaction, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's go.
All right. So now we're getting vectored down.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
This is lovely.
so we
I'm getting excited just seeing this.
so it might be that we're reacting off this. This
It's what?
POI
What is
induced
this?
a trend line. It's an
Perfect,
inducement
perfect,
POI.
perfect. It's an inducement POI.
Yeah.
So you can mark up this. This is a potential reaction. We have no confirmation if there's
Yeah.
a reaction, but it makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Also, what do we also have here? Speed and momentum.
Yeah.
What is this maybe?
Inducement.
No, this would be a internal FBOS. Today, the video that is
Ah,
launching
okay.
today will be explaining the difference between FBOSes and internal FBOSes.
Okay.
Basically,
Yeah.
this point hasn't made a new high, so this is an
Yeah.
internal structure. But again, members would ask me, Joe, how come we can have 25 FBOSes every single day? It's possible. We have no
Yeah.
idea. We don't know. What we have now is we are like the detectives, and we stack the odds, and we understand that potentially we will have a reaction. So let's go back in time. We have an inducement. We have this structural point breaking. So this could become maybe the relevant break of structure, right? This is an inducement POI, like you said, but there's also an
Mm-hmm.
imbalance, maybe.
Yeah.
So this is potentially a reaction zone. We are also in a kind of trading with the trend. We're not trading away, and we're reacting to a potential SMT, right? So
Yeah.
if you see right now the scale from buy and sell, there's way more odds to buy than sell.
Mm-hmm.
You agree?
Yeah.
So now let's go in M1 to have fun. please. Reaction to that POI. Let's play price. See what happens.
So that's given some equal highs here,
Perfect.
like mini
Where are we
mini
also?
buyers.
Where are we in the zone, in the Asia session zone? What?
We're in
No,
London
but we are in
session,
Asia high
Asia
zone,
high. Yeah,
right?
yeah,
It's still relevant. They see the Asia session break, they retest that Asia session. So if there is a potential opportunity, it will be to trade in line with it. Okay.
yeah.
Let's continue. Okay. Still in this POI.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we just took that high. So now that could be our boss. So I mean, on a fract like obviously on a
This
smaller
is
fractal.
a relevant break of structure because this point led to this low. So this
Yeah,
is
that's what I was
relevant.
thinking. Yeah.
Yeah. We'll have a specific video coming next week about the relevant break of structure, but you
Yeah,
get the idea. So let's
yeah.
go. Let's continue.
That could be that's your POI there.
It's a little bit this if this is the kind of trade I take, and this is where I take stop losses.
Already.
I would say that potentially it would be better for you to take the complete zone here if you would be looking to buy.
You take that whole zone, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
because otherwise you don't want to trade like me. This is how I get losses. It's when I over refine and I get stop losses. But again,
Yeah.
with my experience, when I take a stop loss, I just stop. I go to the next pair. Some people
Okay.
cannot accept the stop losses, so I don't want to entice people to take stupid trades.
Yeah.
So let's go. Let's play price. You can play price. It's very obvious what they will do. Come
Yeah.
back in
So
there. Okay,
we
now let's go
root.
back in M5, please. Okay. So again, I will repeat. I know I'm annoying Dave. Sorry.
That's right.
Nobody can know specifically if this stop loss will be taken. It doesn't exist. I don't care who showed you how to trade it. It doesn't exist. There is no set in stone way to know when an inducement is over. We just stack together the confirmation to take a risk, to take a trade. And this is where people don't get how trading works. It's about taking a
Yeah.
risk and not being right or wrong. It's about having an edge. You identify all this, you take a buy. If you take an SL, that's it, it's done. It
Yeah.
invalidates your idea. You move to the next thing. You probably missed the trade here, right? If this
Yeah.
SMT would have made a new low, you accept the loss. And this only comes with maturity and experience. How many times have you taken a trade like this and price did this and induced you, right?
Yeah. Loads.
Because you probably oversimplified what something that is already simple. It's
That
not
happened to me today on UCAT, where you had that inducement POI at Asia Midline. I had that as an SMT. My take profit was under that POI.
and you are not wrong, but this
Yeah.
setup is exactly the same setup that I filmed on AUD USD that will be launching today. It's the same thing. The only difference between you and me is their experience. I've seen those setups hundreds of times. And what also helps me is my edge. I'm able, example, my USD CAD, I missed the first trade. I took the continuation. Then when we had the reaction to that POI, I close to break even. I lost some money because of slippage. It's normal. It's part of the game. I was trading the news, but the fact that I moved to break even actually saved me my trade. I
Mm.
was right. My trade was wrong. So being right about the direction like this and being wrong about a trade is two different things. So I need everybody to listen in the chat and understand that there is no, even not even me, not even with my skill, there is no way to know when enough liquidity is over and taken to go to the opposite direction. We
Mm.
stack the odds. In this case, what we're doing is we're trading in line with the liquidity. The enticement is always the same. If this POI would not be there, that would be a whole other story, right? Imagine
Mm.
this is the middle of no man's land, and you have that beautiful SMT that you marked, and there's an inducement, then this POI would have been probably sense, right? But
Yeah.
just because of that obstacle that we potentially identified by an SMT, this changes everything. So two PEAs that are similar can be way different. So let's
Yeah.
continue. Sorry if I'm interrupting.
That's right.
I think it's important that I just remove this false idea that you can predict price. It doesn't happen.
Yeah. 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 Definitely. All right. So just took that higher, so we got a lot of liquidity under here now. Really, we
Perfect.
got the
Excellent.
breakout.
So now if we say that these are out, these
Yeah.
are probably moved to break even. And let's be honest, this point will become more relevant when this high will be taken, right?
Yeah.
So
And
for
yeah.
us, we're just trading with the liquidity because there is potentially not enough liquidity to just take everything to the downside, right? And again, this is just based on clear proof that we just identified together.
So we just took this out. So that one now is done.
So what happens also now when this point is higher? You can press replay a little bit and we'll see what happens again. I want it to close above. Can it close above again? Okay, perfect. So now solidifies your idea from the early of the day.
Mhm.
What was it here that you said?
Equal lows.
Equal lows are solidified. Let's go on a higher time frame, please. Can you go like maybe an M15? Can we see what M15 looks like? Looks good, right?
Yeah.
Looks very good. Can you go, stand M15, look, what are we doing? We're just respecting the flow.
Yeah.
People think that every single time that we respect the flow, it's wrong. It's not wrong. This is how the market works. We are inducing people. It's not because we're building buy side liquidity during one day that it needs to be taken immediately, right?
So a couple of things here. So obviously we got the equal lows,
Mm-hmm,
which is giving buy side liquidity. This point, it
mm-hmm,
didn't make a new low.
mm-hmm,
So it's kind of like when it doesn't make a new low and we go higher,
mm-hmm.
again, obviously situational, but that usually sometimes means there's not as much liquidity above this,
Yes,
right?
and this is where you justify. We identify that people entering here, having
Yeah,
their stop loss here, would potentially enter here. Look how much time they wicked out of this zone potentially to take these guys break even. So
yeah,
this doesn't mean there is no more liquidity here. It just lights in a little bit the
yeah,
amount of stop loss. Again, there is no proof, but the reaction here is real. You see it. I'm not the one faking it. It's actually there. You can see the wick, how it comes back here perfectly and releases it. You confirm.
yeah,
So this is a
yeah,
proof that we maybe have less liquidity here.
right,
Less liquidity means one thing, that potentially the reaction will be lighter. The
yeah,
more liquidity, the more the reaction, because there is still liquidity because price went to get it. So there's two things. We have structures that have valid and highly confirmed liquidity that we could expect a reaction, or we have a price where there's liquidity, a little bit lighter, less liquidity that we can expect a reaction, but will most likely continue. And this is why you always need to come back and see what happened, justify it, and it actually indicates a lot of things that you see a reaction, but look how it closed above. Why is
yeah,
price ignoring this zone? It's potentially because there's not enough liquidity just now, but Now we have the equal lows. Solidification, big, 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 big here.
Mm.
What do you think will happen now?
Well, the other thing as well, we did get that smart, we get a lot of smart money reaction here that got taken out as well. So it's got that extra liquidity um, as
So
well. So
now if you look at it as buyers and sellers,
yeah,
how, do we have sellers inside the market right now? No. Do we
no,
have buyers? Yes. Do we
yeah,
have solid buyers when this closed above? Yes or no?
yeah,
Okay. Can we press play,
yeah.
please? Just press play. Play.
Gonna
Play.
go to
The left
5.
one. The left one.
Oh, this
This
one.
one. Yeah. Press play. Yeah.
You going?
Play. Let it go. Let it go. Let it go. Again. Let it go. Let it go.
Oh, okay.
Just let the thing go.
Then bang, there goes equal lows.
Play.
Off it goes.
Play. Stop. Here we go. Here you go. Stop. Look how now the liquidity starts being weighting heavier here, way heavier when this has been done. So if you want to take a short from here, right? And this is a trade I took, you're accepting a risk of potentially being induced or potentially trade in line with the liquidity. Being able to trade from this point is taking a risk. But is
Mm,
it a calculated risk? Of course, right? And this is very, very important that people understand that there is no such things. You can sell from here, sell from here, sell from here, and just be right here. But what holds you away from those trades are what we identified here, right?
mm, mm.
Very, very, very important. And now what I did in my analysis, if you can stay on M5, please.
And 5, yeah.
Yeah, let's go on M5. Go back here. We had, don't move. We had here, as you can see, stop losses. You agree, right?
Yeah.
So speed and momentum pushing lower. We have breakout traders entering here. You confirm.
Yeah.
Now we have break and retest coming back here, failing to make a new high. Don't move. Okay, let's zoom in so people can see. Let's zoom in, let's zoom in, let's zoom in and stretch the screen so we can see. Here we go, and put it in the middle, move it back. Here we go. So we can, again, don't move. It's very important.
All
So
right.
we have breakout traders entering here. Can you mark this up for me, please? Here we go. Now we have a stop loss here. Perfect. Now we have break and retest traders here. You don't have to mark it. You don't have to mark it
Oh, okay.
because it failed to make a new high. So it's not, I don't need you guys to mark break and retest. Like here we marked it, but it failed to make a new high. So this invalidates this zone as a highly confirmed liquidity zone. So as you can see, speed and momentum takes this liquidity. But also with speed comes and takes this liquidity means that this is also an internal, an FBOS, an FBOS.
Yeah.
And this is a little bit more advanced trade, but as you can see, they came back into this decisional SMT. As you can
Mm-hmm.
see, you can go,
Mark it up.
yeah, mark it out. Yeah, of course, of course. That's the goal. You just need to stop it here, please. And then price has a reaction, induces higher, takes this point on the broker. On currently FXCM, it didn't. And I just took the trade here and I targeted the low. I just targeted this, but it gets you the idea.
Yeah.
This is a little bit more advanced, but it's the decisional SMT. And this is something I'll teach you guys. A decisional SMT, it's the same thing. It's just a little bit more refined way, like kind of a cherry on the top of a cake, right? It's a little bit more complex, but it's there because you see it as an intention. Look at the reaction. look at the inducement. You see that this is an inducement, and actually this is taking a risk because potentially price will react and come back because they let equal highs. This is what real trading is. You take a risk, you have an edge, you respect your risk management, you manage your trade, and you have a high risk to reward. I take a lot of SL during a week, a lot. And most of them are because I do stupid mistakes. Because when you sit out and you sit down and you look at your mistake, then you understand clearly that this point, as an intention, they created that FBOS, and usually an FBOS has liquidity, takes with speed, come and into the SMT. Intention wise, we have a reaction inducement with speed. You said we are in New York session. I took this shit and I dumped the price over here.
Mm.
It's simple when we see it in hindsight. But the moral of this, the story of this call, is for you to realize that there's no such things as understanding the intention and understanding when price will reverse. This is why I want you to take trades like this. I want you to practice to see reaction zones with invalidated SLs and taking continuation trades.
Yeah.
Very, very, very important. I don't care what you learned back in the day. I know exactly what you learned. You're here to make money. You're not here to be right or wrong. How
Yeah.
can you make money? It's to have an edge. How can we have an edge? We take a calculated risk based on clear evidences that the market gives us, not that we create. We react, we don't create. So I hope you learned one thing or two.
Yeah, absolutely. Just a quick question on
Yeah,
this
go
one.
for it. Go for it.
So with obviously I would probably be looking to take this less so now, but before I would have because we took all this out, took this out. But the one thing that might keep someone out is this FBOS because this is the first FBOS pretty much
You're
of
a
the
hundred.
whole.
You're 100% right. So basically, you would take this trade like this immediately, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah. I understand. And
Or I'd
it's
look at
not.
that. I'd look at that. I'd look at that as my PI and think we're going. I think our boss, but actually, I'm definitely starting to learn more now. Is that it's
And
the first F boss.
and the FBOS is only stimulated by that SL location. Look at that clear vector candle. If
Yeah,
that price would have done this like this, and then this slowly, then this would have been a nice. Look what he did here, right?
yeah,
Look at those candles, look at the story. They all teach you something. They teach you emotions. They teach you also what are looking people are looking. You need to understand that there's literally people looking at those engulfing candles as being the freaking like holy grail of trading.
mm,
There is no such thing. And this I think this is probably a hard pill to swallow, that if people would follow me on Instagram and think I was always right, the only thing I have is that I put on paper clearly what the market gives me. And you cannot argue that all these are tricky, but with experience and time, it's possible.
yeah,
And it's
yeah,
just facts. So I understand that it looks simple to take an inducement of Asia high. They architect a POI for you. You take a short and you take an SL and you don't understand. It's because you haven't done your due diligence. Just because we confirm that this SL has been potentially, not 100% sure, potentially taken out because of that reaction candle
mm,
coming out of that SMT, it invalidates the whole idea. So you see those things that we saw, and this is
yeah,
actually what I do when I trade. I just do it faster. But there's no reasons why you guys shouldn't be able to do it. So let's just forget about the oversimplified inducement trading that you learned in the past. Let's
yeah,
focus on factual events that happens and we saw it. This is a very advanced trade, and I understand. But when you look at it and when I explain it, just the fact that we have clear stop losses, clear vector candles, coming here, enticing people to buy, completely change the whole story. And I'll explain this in videos when we go into relevant breakup structures. I'll show you 2 exact scenarios, but just because there's one candle difference, it changes the whole story. Again, I want you guys to focus on the candles. I want you guys to look at everything they tell you. And this is why we gave you that indicator that I use. Some people on my previous community was laughing at me because I was using an imbalance indicator. They really think that I don't know what an imbalance is and how I can view it. Is I need to take a decision fast, swiftly. I wake up at 7:30, I take a trade at 7:45. I have no time to analyze the market. The indicator helps you knowing when there's a vector candle. Quickly, fast, efficiently, you take a decision, you take a risk, you take an SL. What's the worst thing? Taking an SL doesn't mean that you're going to cut your arm in half. You take an SL, you move on, right? So that was today's call. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you very much. Can we say thank you to Dave today? Can we say thank you? Thank you,
Thank you,
Dave.
Jrod.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, man. That was really good.
You did a great job, and thank you very much for your volunteering.
Thank you,
I'll
mate.
stop the recording and we'll go into the Q&A.